You know, when you're trying to start something, in particular a book review of horror books, it's it's kind of daunting. Where do you start? You know where you want to go, you know you have things to say, but how do you start? And I think it came upon me just yesterday, actually, when I became aware that this is Native American Month, Indigenous Peoples Month, First Nations Month, whatever you want to call it. Here we are in November in the United States, where we are called to really think about the impact of the first peoples that were here, the people that were here before anyone my complexion showed up, uh, and the impact that they had on culture and art and just the beauty of who they are as peoples, not as a people, peoples. We're talking many different nations. And so I thought, why not? This is a good place to start. What Native American authors do I know who have gotten a foothold in the horror genre? And the best one I could think of is none other than Stephen Graham Jones. Stephen Graham Jones is a Texas writer. He's from West Texas. He is also, get this, from my understanding anyway, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, he is also part of the Blackfeet tribe, or at least that's his heritage. And so when he writes about Native Americans, that's who he writes about. He writes about the Blackfeet. In particular, the novels that he's written that's impacted me, and he has many novels, uh, and there are people who have, every time I talk to somebody, they read this, read this, read this. I don't have time for all that. And so what I have time to give you today is the two that I read. And first, that is The Only Good Indians and Buffalo Hunter Hunter. Two amazing, amazing books. Now, I'm not going to go and read through the backs. I'm not going to give you a synopsis. I'm not going to give you a summary of them. I'm going to tell you what they're really about, though. And this is what's important. What they're really about is what's important. The Only Good Indians is about a group of men who grew up on a reservation who have committed a sin. They've committed a sin against their culture, against their tribe, against the entire belief system that they were raised with. And this sin has manifested itself in such a way that it comes back to haunt them. It comes back seeking its revenge. The Only Good Indians is really at its core, as far as the horror genre thing goes, it is a slasher. 100% it's a slasher. Humanoid, whatever you want to call it, creature with a mask of some sort, with weapons that will do nothing short of destruction. It has its sights on something or someone, and death is going to come. And that's exactly what it's about. And that's exactly what the readers should be expecting for this. It is a great book. It's a book that just, it makes you want to, like cringe in a lot of different areas. If you're not a horror person, this book will mess you up. If you are a horror person, you'll read it and go, that's pretty cool. I'm telling you, it's really good. But most importantly, it educates us, those of us who are not part of a Native American culture. It educates us into what it means to be an American, a Native American rather, sorry, with these values. And what happens? What is the threat? That's the way of putting it. What's the threat of happening when we sin against those values? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. It is set in modern times. Anyone who's lived in this life will look at it and understand where it's coming from. But there's just enough Native American culture in there that the rest of us can really learn and appreciate where the author's coming from. The next one, the Buffalo Hunter Hunter, is amazing. I know, I feel like I'm using that superlative too much. It's amazing. It's amazing. It really is, though. The Buffalo Hunter Hunter takes us back into the 1800s. It jumps forward into the early 1900s, and then it jumps even further than that into basically the current era. I don't want to say the modern era, but more contemporary era, or time frame, I should say. It is another revenge story. Because really, what is horror but revenge on something? Uh, and just as importantly, though, the Buffalo Hunter is about what we, look at the complexion, people like us, what we did then, what we did in the time of great massacres to these beautiful tribes. It's about our sins, but it's also about a particular man's sin, a sin of a Native American that enables him to seek retribution upon those who have sinned against him. This is a very interesting story. It is a very well written, well woven story. And that's exactly it. It weaves these ideas, it weaves the American expansionist idea into what the concept or what the effects of American expansion had on Native Americans. Now, granted, this is from the Native American standpoint of someone who is alive today, but that's really not a difference. Our sins are our sins, regardless of when they happened, and regardless of who's pointing it out to us. And that's what the Buffalo Hunter does for us. It forces us to look. It forces us to examine, what did we do to make this country what it is? And we can excuse it all we want, but it still forces us to be retrospective about it, introspective about it. I also think that the Buffalo Hunter is going to be something that you've never experienced before, because not only does it give us more insight into Native American culture, again, in particular the Blackfeet tribe, but the Buffalo Hunter is also, when you strip it down into what it is as far as a horror genre, it's a vampire novel. This is not your mother's Dracula. Putting it out there. This is not a Bela Lugosi thing. This is nowhere near anything Anne Rice could have ever created or come up with. The beautiful, good-looking vampires that we all are used to seeing, with all of their wonderful, oh yes, I'll just have a little bit of your blood now, thank you very much. No, this is something completely different. A vampire novel that challenges our very imagination. A vampire novel that takes Bram Stoker and anything prior and since and just mushes it, reforms it, bakes it, and comes out and says, voila, here it is. What do you think of that? And the reality is, what I think of that is, it's probably one of the best novels I've read this year. It's a fascinating read. And again, I can't say how much I've learned from these books, both of these books, especially Buffalo Hunter. So here we are in this month of November, while we are being thankful, while we are remembering all those who came before us, not just our ancestors, but the ancestors of all of our peoples of this nation who are on this continent before and now and ever will. I encourage you all to please acknowledge and admire these beautiful Native American peoples, their culture, their literature, and even their horror. And I guess there's only one thing left to say. What are you reading?